In February and March 2026, we conducted an investigation into Hartshead Meats, a British slaughterhouse tucked away on the hill near Hartshead Pike in Greater Manchester. It presents itself as a high welfare supplier of beef and lamb. But as we look deeper, the reality wasn't what it seemed. Please watch the main documentary for the full story. For now, this video presents the completely uncensored, secretly filmed footage that we uncovered. After a distressing night inside the lairage, the cows are then herded into the race. This cow was the first of the day. They double back. The herder shocks them. The herder excessively shocks the cows with a pointed tipped electric goad. The cows are terrified. They're afraid to move forward. They know what lies ahead is not good. They struggle desperately and bellow as a slaughterman awaits, sharpening their knife. Uncooperative cows anger the worker and tortures them more. The British worker continues to shock the cow in full view of a kosher slaughterman. He walks off, seemingly unfazed by the torture. They're continuously shocked with nowhere to go. Goading like this is against the law. But here, it's routine. It's about to become abundantly clear why the cows are so resistant to move any further forward. On the other side, the cows are met with a pool of blood. Skins are torn off of cows above them, and other cows hang in a dismemberment area in full view. They then become noticeably agitated and begin struggling. The cow can now see the slaughterman with a knife in hand. They attempt to escape, but every attempt is futile. The slaughterman shocks them, traumatizing them further. The terrified cows are mimicked by other workers. The desperation is clear. They do not want to die. Cows appear to attempt to beg with their killers. To no avail. Defenseless and helpless, the cow's chin is then mechanically lifted to expose the arteries in their neck. The cows display multiple palpable signs of extreme stress. Blood-curdling bellows and licking behaviour. Their begs for mercy are ignored. The kosher slaughterman cleans and prepares the neck as the cows grow more and more terrified. Cow's screams, which have fallen on deaf ears, are finally muffled by the blade of the knife cutting their throat open. The slaughterman closes the curtain to cover the sprays of blood. He then sticks his hand in the wound, aggravating the pain further. The cows then suffer horrifically, gasping out of the hole in their neck. slow, painful, agonizing end to an innocent animal's short life. The cows behind them can see what's happening ahead of them and grow more and more distressed as they wait to be next. Workers are supposed to check for signs of consciousness, but this was done rarely and poorly. Some cows, post-cut, were able to break free from the head restraint. Here, the worker is too busy scrolling on social media to notice that this cow requires emergency stunning and goes on to suffer for over a minute. Too little, too late. Many cows needed emergency bolting, some requiring multiple attempts, prolonging their suffering further. Here the workers appear to be disagreeing whether or not this cow should be emergency bolted. Bolt gunning animals renders the carcass not suitable for kosher use. The kosher slaughterman appears to shake his head in disapproval at the prospect of ending this cow's suffering. So far, you might find it hard to believe that it could get any worse, but what comes next are some of the most horrific crimes against animals you could possibly conceive of, and all happening routinely and systematically. A worker attaches a chain to the cow's ankles, preparing to pull them out, ready for dismemberment. But we filmed many cows getting stuck in the machine by the open gash in their neck. The chain pulls on their ankle whilst their neck is caught. Blinking, breathing, feeling every agonizing second. Stuck cows are kicked in the head. Cows who are stuck by their open neck in the machinery are then prodded in their anus and genitals. Tail wagging is a sign of consciousness, and breathing is a sign of life. When shocking or kicking them in the head doesn't work, the next method they employ not only breaks the law, but is absolutely sickening. This blinking, breathing, conscious cow is about to have their head sawn off with a small knife right there in the kill box. This horrific crime was not isolated to kosher slaughter, but pre-stunned animals as well. This one had not lost consciousness, and sometimes right in front of government officials. Now the question of what happens to these cows once they're pulled out of the box and make it to the dismemberment area. Cows are released from the box, still breathing. The chain pulls on their ankles and digs into their flesh. Chains often failed as they crash to the floor. After minutes of agonizing terror, some cows were emergency bolted. But most of them were not. Instead, they're hung while they flail in agony with a callous lack of concern from other workers. Gashed open cows had their neck wounds stepped on by workers. Here the kosher slaughterman cowers as their victim flails in agony in front of them, highlighting the cowardice of these cold-hearted animal torturers. With no checks for consciousness, this worker starts cutting the legs off of animals who are still alive, who react by pulling their legs away, indicating they are still conscious. Live and conscious animals have their ankles hacked and snapped off, the worst of crimes. He then checks for consciousness by stabbing the animal with a knife. The animal instantly reacts. We documented countless cows displaying conscious reactions as they were decapitated. The mentally disturbed worker smiles as he cuts the body parts off of live animals, the stuff horror movies are made of. Their faces are skinned, their tongues are cut out, and their bodies are prepared to be sold as high welfare beef. As well as hosting kosher teams, the facility also conducts halal and standard British slaughter. Unlike kosher, the animals for both those methods were pre-stunned, but the stunning was often ineffective, with animals seen reacting to cuts or regaining consciousness before dismemberment. It was difficult to discern the difference between the two stunned methods, but what we are certain of is that no matter the method, the horrors were riddled throughout. Animal welfare researcher Jenny Mace analysed the sample of the footage and identified 9 categories of laws being broken with higher frequency. This despite their own CCTV cameras overseeing the slaughter and government officials on site. This facility turns over £70 million a year, and when confronted, brazenly denied kosher slaughter was even happening there. British slaughterhouses are financially incentivised to host kosher slaughter under the radar. High volumes of meat are deemed not suitable for kosher use, and due to the lack of labelling laws, this discarded beef can be sold as standard beef to consumers without their knowledge. The kosher certification bodies operating here claim to adhere to the strictest standards for sale in specialist butchers. Heart's Head beef is also distributed to many local British butchers and nationwide through companies like Burt Whistles, who over the years have supplied major outlets across the country. To see the full story, please watch the main documentary. This hellhole carries out all forms of slaughter under one roof, and horrors were documented under every type, religious or not. Investigations have shown time and again that the entire system of animal commodification is abhorrent, secretive, and cannot be trusted. It's time to take a stand, boycott them all, and live vegan.